Hey guys, welcome back to the Zilinski Life. I'm Cody, this is Val, and today we are talking about quick and easy ways to save money.
Okay, so the first way that you would look at saving money is to cut down on your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty easy one. This is, I think, the first place everybody goes
to.
The
concept of cutting down on expenses, and I think step one for that is create a budget. Mm-hmm. You know, if there's holes in the ship, the first thing you want to do is plug up the holes in the ship.
Yes. So you can take a look at things like your subscriptions, gym memberships. There might be like subscription boxes that you're not using. Maybe you have a subscription to like Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO and like a ton of other stuff that you could maybe cancel.
Honestly, like specific examples aside, if you've never really like sat down and looked at your budget, or if it's been a while since you've looked at your budget, if you've kind of just been on autopilot in that regard, it could be helpful to just look at what your expenses are, and chances are you're going to have a few things at least that are like, should I pay for that? Ugh. Mm-hmm. And like it wouldn't even really be a consideration to get rid of them because like it broadsided you were surprised it was still a thing, so you can just cut that out like right now.
Yeah. Other things you can look at is your food budget, like any discretionary spending, clothing, dining out. If you go for like to get your nails done, if you're going for really regular haircuts.
Maybe you could go to like the local hairdresser school and get a cut on the cheap, or same thing for getting your nails done. Go to like the esthetician's college and see if you can be a practice dummy for them.
Yeah, you can often, if you're willing to have a student do it, you can get it done a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm. And depending on where you shop, maybe you can buy the generic brand instead of the name brand, which, I mean, in our experience, we found that the generic brand is pretty good. Yeah,
usually more often than not, it's the same. Another thing you can do is look at your bills and shop around for better prices.
Yeah, that's something you should really be doing every couple of years at least anyway, because the companies are always competing with each other. Mm-hmm. So you're either going to switch companies to a better deal or call your current company to cancel because you found a better deal.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly expensive for them to get new clients, so they're probably going to bend over a little bit for you to maintain you as a client and maybe give you some perks or better deals that way.
Cody and I actually just did that with our cell phone bills, and now we're saving $80 a month on our cell phone bill.
Yeah, like that's not nothing, guys. That's like a nice date night once a month.
Yeah. You can also look at renegotiating your insurance policies, either life insurance, tenants insurance, home insurance, auto insurance. Look at them all. Mm-hmm. You can look at switching banks to a bank that charges no fees. There's a lot of banks now that don't charge fees. We use a bank that doesn't charge us anything, and we love it.
Our bank is totally online. Now, the caveat to that is that they do have a deal with a bank that has physical branches, so we go there to deposit or withdraw cash.
Yeah.
But everything else is done 100% online, and their customer service has been fantastic. I don't think we'll ever go back.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is maybe look at selling your car. This is far more extreme, but for some people it makes sense. Like Cody and I, we used to each have our own vehicle, and we went down to a one vehicle household like 5 years ago now.
Yeah, and it cut our monthly expenses by quite a bit. Now, ultimately for us, that ended up being something that was still unsustainable for us, just because of the employment situation and a few other things going on. Yeah. But at the time, it cut our vehicle budget down by like well over $1,000, I would think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it made a big difference.
Right, because Val had her car, I had my truck, but we only ever used one vehicle at a time. When I was gone away to work, my truck sat in the parking lot collecting dust, and when I was home from work, her car sat in the parking lot collecting dust because we used my truck. So we just downsized to one vehicle. Yeah. And except for a few one-off instances, we haven't even noticed the lack.
Yeah. Yeah, we've managed with just one vehicle between the two of us now, like I said, going on like 5 years or something.
Pretty close, hey, holy smokes.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, obviously part of what helps that is that Cody usually works out of town, and then now I no longer work. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so our situation might be a little different. But if you have the ability to go down to one car, or maybe you live in a metropolitan area or a large city that's got really good public transit, maybe you don't need a vehicle at all, and you can just walk to where you need to go or take the bus.
Yeah, like honestly, if my work situation was different and I could get there on public transit, not having a vehicle would save us like well over $1,000 a month.
Yeah. And then lastly that we put on our list here is buy used.
Yeah, buy used, go thrifting.
Yeah. Go to thrift stores, check out local Goodwills, Value Village, check out Facebook Marketplace, eBay. You can find a lot of stuff in like gentle used condition or good condition.
Yeah.
For like a third of the price that what you'd pay in store.
Yeah, 100%.
It makes a big difference.
One caveat to that though is be aware that just because something is on sale doesn't mean you need it.
Yes.
Like if you buy something you don't need for $100 off, you still wasted money
However
on something
much
you
money.
don't need.
Yeah, exactly. So that's everything we would put down on the expense side of things to save money, quick and easy. Now, obviously,
There's two factors to this: is you got to decrease your expenses and ideally increase your income as well. So we came up with a random list of some ways you can also do that.
so the number one most traditional way would be to just pick up a second job, a part-time job. It could be delivering pizzas, it could be driving for Uber, or skip the dishes, DoorDash.
Could be babysitting for the neighbor, walking somebody's dog.
Yeah, it could be.
The opportunities are endless. We saw a bunch of signage around town the other day for someone started a company that they pick up dog poop.
Yeah.
I don't know what their rates are or what the deal is or anything like that, but someone started a dog poop business. They'll come around and clean up your yard for you if you have a dog.
And like, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, because when we had a dog, I hated that part.
So that kind of ties into like starting a side hustle, which could be, starting picking up dog poop or shoveling snow and doing snow removal in the winter for your neighbors, or lawn care, or, maybe...
Like most basic, landscaping is really easy to get into. Cleaning sidewalks, mowing lawns, picking weeds, cleaning up people's yards.
Yeah. Yes, side hustle can also be from monetizing your passion. So if you have like a skill and a passion for something, like maybe you're good at photography, videography, graphic design, website design, writing blog posts.
Editing.
Yeah, editing.
Whatever. Like editing videos, editing other writing.
That's all ways that you could monetize that stuff. And you can go to websites like Upwork or Fiverr.
There's so many places out there that have gigs for people willing to take them.
Yeah, you could post locally in like your local Facebook groups and stuff like that. If you're offering photography services, maybe you could do like newborn photography for new moms, or you want to do wedding photography, or just headshots for like corporations and stuff like that. There's a lot of different ways that you could start a side hustle, and the barrier to entry is typically pretty low. Another thing is you can rent out a room in your home. That doesn't work for everybody, obviously. It would not work in our situation.
Yeah.
But if you have a spare room in your house or your apartment or whatever, you can rent it out, and that helps to bring in a little bit of extra income.
Yeah, and that can be like an Airbnb situation where people want to just come and crash for a couple of days just for a change of pace, or because they're in town. Or that could be, like in my situation with what I do for work, they're not always hiring local guys because the workforce isn't always local, but they need guys there. So they'll bring in a workforce, and those guys need somewhere to stay, and hotels aren't always great.
That's right. You could also ask for a raise at work if that's an option.
Yeah, because ultimately your boss isn't going to come to you and say, hey, we think you've been doing really excellent. Here's a $10,000 raise.
Yeah.
Because it's in their best interest to pay you as little as they can get away with. But if you have been really crushing it at work, you might be able to go in and say, hey, you have to prepare for it a bit, but hey, I've been crushing it. I've been working really hard. I've done this, this, and this. Is there any chance that I can see a little extra compensation for that going forward? Yeah. And worst case scenario, they say no. Best case scenario, your bank account starts looking a little nicer.
That's right. And then the last one that we wanted to touch on is selling stuff around your house. This is something Cody and I do all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We're constantly accumulating stuff. Also, if you can hear our kid.
We film these when the kid is napping, because I would not want to try and set up a tripod and do these videos with a tiny Tasmanian devil running around. But she's currently not asleep. She was tired. She was rubbing her eyes. She was asking for night-night, and now she's in her room just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, usually she goes to bed pretty quick, but I can hear her babbling away. But yeah, this is something Cody and I do all the time. I feel like at least once a year we wind up selling a bunch of stuff that we don't use.
Yeah, because we accumulate stuff over time, whether stuff we've bought for ourselves, things we've gotten for each other, things other people have gotten for us, stuff we found on good deals or whatever and needed for a specific purpose, and now that purpose is gone and we no longer need the thing.
So like just recently, just in the past 2 weeks here, we've sold an old Xbox that we had, a bed frame, a mattress, an old camera. We sold our phones.
Which is one of many reasons that we really love iPhones specifically, is that they hold their value insanely well.
Yes.
Basically, since we've been together, we've been buying new iPhones every time they come out. And because we sell the old iPhone, we're only like a couple $100 out of pocket on brand new phones.
Yeah, so essentially we're paying like $200 to $500 each year for a new phone, which is great. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Did you have anything else that you can think of that you want to add?
No, I think for me, honestly, the big one is just to look at your expenses every now and then. It doesn't have to be like a super in-depth thing every week, but every now and then for like a week or two or a day or two, just track your expenses, pay attention to where your money goes. Don't put that on autopilot, and just maybe you'll be surprised that it's going, because I mean, if you give it half a chance, it'll just vanish on you.
And these tips are great for things like if you're just starting your debt-free journey and you're trying to play catch up on your bills. This is great to just get a bunch of money to, get you caught up on your credit card or maybe your rent or whatever you're behind on.
Yeah, or if you're, maxed out on your credit card, or you're essentially just living in overdraft, you get charged for that.
Yes.
You may have a $1,000 overdraft on your bank account, but if your account goes below zero and you go into that overdraft, they'll charge you a little extra. And stuff like that, those little small cuts can really hurt you. So something like this can at least get you out of that, so that you can begin making positive headway.
Yes. It's also great if you're trying to build your first $1,000 emergency fund.
Yeah.
It's great if you're maybe laid off and between jobs and you just got to make ends meet. Like Cody and I do some of these tips even now, as he's laid off right now while he's looking for more work. We're really putting a lot of time and focus into our brand and our business, doing our videos, building our brand on social media platforms.
Because honestly, we love doing this. We love chatting with you guys with this format. We love the comments. Like, when we do things like this is when things feel right. All the rest of it does not feel right. So we're trying to make this our focus.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we're learning how to monetize our passions and skills, how to make more money on the side, selling things to make sure that we can continue to pay our bills and not miss anything, which we've done great up to this point, I think.
Yeah, we've done really well for how sporadic and hit or miss the income has been. We haven't defaulted on everything, and so far, I don't think this year we've had to ask to skip a payment yet either. No,
we did it in January and February, the very start of the year, and that was it. So, yeah. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that at some point, or we'll entirely forget, and this is the last you'll hear of it.
Yes. So I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. So
we forgot our bell.
We did forget the bell.
I gotta have the bell to ring.
Yeah. Well,
it's very important. That's
it for this one, guys. Hopefully you found some value in here. And if you did, if you like it, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it twice. Subscribe, because we are going to be putting out a lot more content. So if you found some value here, also turn on notifications. Ring that little bell. And if you have an actual bell, ring that. And until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. We love you guys very much. And is it payday yet? Bye.